Hello, SKMB family. Happy New Year. I hope you are staying warm on this frigid winter day. The wind and the snow is blowing around outside my window here, so stay warm and stay safe. You know, family, I love the story of Joshua as he's poised to enter the promised land after 40 years in the wilderness. He had taken on the mantle of leading the nation of Israel after the death of Moses. And he, how does one fill the shoes of a guy like Moses, right? Incredible leader. Well, the weight of such leadership, plus leading really a troublesome population into hostile territory, was immense. And what a weight that Joshua had to bear. And God knew this, and God gives him this word. And I quote, "This is my command. Be strong, Joshua. Be courageous, Joshua. Don't be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." What a word given to this leader. And it's a word, I think, that's given to us as well. On another note, it's one thing to have people around you, giving you the high five and uttering rally calls as you start a new year, but it's a whole different thing to have God himself saying to you, I've got your back. As you enter into this new year, I've got your back. You know, a word came to me this week, and I jotted it down in my journal, and which means that it has a real impact on me if it makes it in my journal. And it was this phrase, and I'll quote it for you. Don't look back, you're not going that way. Don't look back, you're not going that way. You know, Paul said something similar when he wrote, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the prize for which God has called me. And God has called each of us to be missional people, to be disciple makers. And so here's a word for us in that context. And so as you move into 2022, know that God has got your back. Whether you're a vocational leader, whether you're a lay leader, whether you're a member of the congregation in another fashion serving the church, don't look back. You're not going that way. Look forward. Press on in your calling and your service for the Lord. Well, let me share a couple of things on the SKMB landscape with you today. Jason Kovacs, who is our counselor as a Saskatchewan province, he continues to be a valuable resource for us in 2022. So if you or your spouse as vocational leaders need to have someone to talk to, someone that is really a third party, a neutral party, and just someone that is trained as a biblical counselor, I invite you to reach out to Jason. He is biblically centered, Christ-centered, gospel-centered, and even if you're starting to feel a strain and need someone to talk to, it's a great preventative measure to get ahead of any growing emotional struggles that you're having. So reach out to me for how you can do that, and we'll get you set up. So, and just keep in mind the conference is covering a portion of his fees. So that's a great resource for you to have. There's a national town hall meeting via Zoom on January 20th to discuss the church and vaccination, as well as the new Bill C4 and what impact. Now, Bill C4 has to do with it being a criminal offense to enter into conversion therapy, and what's the impact on the church. And frankly, folks, it's significant. And you need to be abreast of what this means for us as a church family. And you can go to our website, you can go to CCMBC website to register. So that's January 20th. Please, I strongly encourage you to have one member of your leadership team involved in that town hall. As of this video, there's no further COVID health guidelines to report. I'm striving to stay abreast of any of the upcoming changes. One thing to note is yesterday, Dr. Shahab, our provincial health director, really has given a strong word of counsel to avoid any unnecessary gatherings. It's not mandated, it's not in the guidelines, but he's really given that a word. And where I ask you to really heed that counsel is, absolutely continue with your church worship gatherings and your ministry, but if there's unnecessary gatherings, use a bit of discernment as to whether you should postpone those with the skyrocketing Omicron numbers. So I leave that with you. I'm planning on a January pastoral huddle. Sadly, this will again be via virtual, just in terms of the Omicron numbers. And so stay tuned, vocational leaders, for that, for the times that are coming up. Again, we're invited to join the Manitoba MB Conference for their Nuts and Bolts webinar. This is a lay and vocational training setting via Zoom, where we discuss relevant issues around the church and its ministry and our present-day culture. That's January 26th. Again, I'll be sending out registration links shortly for that very thing. Upcoming in May 9 through 13th, SKMB is putting on a course at Horizon College and Seminary called Leadership and Conflict. And Rick Schellenberg will be the main instructor for that, as well as Scott Siemens, who is a federal national mediator, will be teaching that course. So May 9th through 13th, it is going to be live. It is going to be live streamed, and so please take note of that in case you're interested. And again, it'll be on our website. I want to give you a heads up that our discipleship coach, Luke, is working on a 5-part video series specifically designed for lay church leaders. The purpose of these videos will be to help church leadership gain traction in staying on mission. I think COVID has really done a number on us and undermined our efforts to stay on mission. And so, and I think there's other challenges that have done the same. But Luke's video series will be a real helpful resource to church lay leadership. And the fact that it's video, they'll be in short segments. I think there's 5 of them altogether. It's really good to include as part of your regular monthly meetings, to include this video series, maybe in the place of your devotional, and train together that way. So that will be introduced at our assembly in March. Speaking of the assembly, the date, folks, it will be another virtual event. It'll be Saturday, a one-day event, March 12th. Saturday, March 12th, an all-day virtual event. The theme will be, do not lose heart, from 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Do not lose heart, 2 Corinthians chapter 4. And Dr. Ken Esau, who is a professor at Columbia College and is also our interim National Faith and Life Director, will be our speaker. So we look forward to that. Now, although I anticipate a final 2021 budget performance report next week, I anticipate that we'll end up with a small surplus. And I just want to thank you again for your generous support of SKMB and its ministry. If your church has not reviewed the Common Understanding and our Common Covenant document, please do so. We plan to adopt it at this year's assembly in March, and then there will be a 1-year implementation period after that. So, folks, if you haven't yet, take the time, review the document. We've made some minor changes to it, some wordsmithing primarily, but I think it's just an important document that rallies around us on a common mission that we all understand, we all get, and we can all identify with, and that you can share with your congregation, you can share with upcoming leaders. This is what our relationship to SKMB is all about. On a final note, I continue to visit churches on Sunday mornings. Yes, even in the deep freeze that we're having. At the time of this video, I'm planning to go to Lucky Lake. Yay, Lucky Lake. It's a long drive. It's 2 hours to Swift Current and then 2 hours to, roughly 2 hours to Lucky Lake. And so I leave tomorrow for that in the midst of, hopefully, some better weather. So I look forward to these visits, and And just please pray for safety for driving for me as I go out. Next is going to be an interview with Ryan Epp, who is our Multiply rep here in Saskatchewan. He's going to be talking about Soar, Saskatchewan, and some of the things that at the time of the video we weren't able to include, but I want to mention that if you're attending Soar, you will be required to have a proof of vaccination or a negative PCR test to participate. And Ryan asked me to just to remind you that our current health guidelines end on January 31st, so we may have new guidelines February 1st. So stay tuned to any announcements that Ryan has about any COVID-related guidelines. All right. God bless you and make you an incredible blessing to others. And we'll transition to the interview with Ryan. Ryan, it's good to have you with us once again. For those of you that need an introduction, Ryan and Terry are Multiply representatives specifically for Saskatchewan and the Ministry of Multiply in our province. And it's that time of year again when Soar is fast approaching, and I want to get the word out about that. And so I thought I'd go right to the source, the man in charge. So Ryan, can you tell us about Soar? What do we need to know?
Right on. Yeah. Soar, if you don't know, is our local mission trip right here in Saskatchewan that we run every Feb break. And so this year it's pretty late in February, and it's 10 days of an intentional orientation. We spend 3-4 days training and building team together, and then 5 days of service somewhere in the province. A lot of the assignments end up being in the Saskatoon area where we're based, but we really it's called Soar Saskatchewan because we really want it to be the entire province, available to the entire province. And this year we're going to be starting to pivot the program a little bit more towards that with like an intentional 4-day orientation, and then like a sending out from that 4-day. So this is youth teams. This is all ages teams from church groups from around the province. We have a number of out of city teams wanted to be a part of Soar this year, and always a good number of Saskatoon teams where we're based are going to be a part of it again this year.
Okay, Ryan, can you maybe not everybody's aware of when the Feb break is. Can you actually give us the dates of Soar? And have you got a tentative location where you're going to be based out of?
Yeah. So this year, we are starting on February 17th. We start always on a Thursday night, which gives us the ability to do a day of learning on the Friday when ministries are still running. A lot of ministries are closed down on the weekends, and so we have a learning day where we get to tour around the city on the Friday. And so 17th all the way to the 26th, the 10 days there. What was the other question you asked?
Do you have a tentative place where you're going to be located?
Yeah, so we're a pretty large group. For the last few years, Soar is 100 plus people that get involved, and we're always open to that growing as the Lord leads. But so our home base this year is at Forest Grove Church in Saskatoon, and with the Horizon building right beside there, we have even added capacity. Horizon's got a couple showers in their building, so does Forest Grove. So we've dabbled into like outdoor shower trailer rentals in the past for Soar, and it especially if the week dips into the minus 30s, the outdoor shower trailer can be a bit of a gong show with frozen water all around it, and having to break it out of the ice at the end of the week. So we're blessed with some indoor showers this year.
Awesome. Hey, can I ask you, for the people that participate, what do you want to see as the key outcome for participants?
So we kind of say our the Soar is all about creating an environment where we can grow, know, and go. So we can grow in our relationship with Jesus, so we can know God's heart for the world and the community around us, and so we can go and join God in the work that He's doing by the power of the Holy Spirit. So grow, know, and go. Those are the key outcomes that we hope every participant and volunteer can be a part, like that. Those can be a part of the experience for them, growing and knowing and going.
Okay. Is there anything that you want people to know about, with COVID happening, how you'll apply safety measures there? Anything that you want to kind of communicate on that front?
Things are going to look a little different this year. Overnight, what we're going to be able to do for overnight is still a little bit up in the air. Typically, we have all the teams come and live on site for 10 days. This year, that's going to be that's going to look a little different. Some teams are already kind of confirming like sleeping in their own churches, the local ones. And we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do with some of the out of town teams and what we're even able to do. So a little too early to say what exactly we can do there, but we are absolutely taking safety very serious, and we're going to be following all the restrictions all along the way, even with like food delivery and things throughout the program. We're taking everything into account. But that being said, it's looking like, apart from the overnight piece, which is still probably the most in question for Soar, most other elements of the program, especially the day programming of Soar, we're looking at it being fairly similar to a pre-COVID time, Lord willing. Things are always changing a bit, and as everyone knows, and so we're gonna be doing the best we can to have it all go forward.
Okay, we're going to run out of time here quickly. So just wanted to ask contact. What's the contact information if people want more details on SOAR this year?
So a great place to start is multiply.net. You can search the SOAR program on there. It's in our program list. It's very easy to find on the Multiply site, and the main contact is going to be me, Ryan E at multiply.net. And another plug I'll put in there is I'm wearing last year's Soar shirt. Camp Hope was our theme last year, and this year our theme for Soar is Revive. Can I just read what might become our theme verse here?
Sure.
So on the theme of Revive, Psalm 85 in my Bible has like the heading above it, Revive Us Again is the name of the psalm. Who knows what David called it, but verse 6 says this: will you not, this is talking directly to God, will you not revive us again, that your people may rejoice in you? Show us your steadfast love, O Lord, and grant us your salvation. Let me hear what God the Lord will speak, for he will speak peace to his people, to his saints. But let them not turn back to folly. Surely his salvation is near to those who fear him, that glory may dwell in our land. So yeah, that's a bit of our prayer for even the SOAR program and just as the Church of Saskatchewan, that through this program we could press into those verses and have that be part of our prayer to the Lord.
Great verse, great theme. Thanks, Ryan, for this time. Blessings on SOAR, and until we meet again, take care.
Yeah, peace.